So WWE have brought back a new old title, I guess. They brought back the World Heavyweight Championship, which we all love. I'm not sure if it's the same title as the big gold, the old school World Heavyweight Championship, but it's got the same name, and that's good enough for me. What do you think of the title first off?
Hmm. The title, it's actually it's actually a good design. It's a good design. It's a mixture of old and new.
That's what I said.
Because people were begging for the big gold to come back, like the original big gold. And I was like, guys, let that be in the past. Just leave it. They're gonna do something new.
Exactly.
And you go.
Exactly. I mean, bringing back old titles just feels like a step backwards. So bringing back a new version of the old title, I like. I like that idea.
Mm-hmm. It had to be done. It had to be done.
What do you think of some of the hate, namely from the likes of What Culture and so on, saying that this title is horrible?
I haven't begun to watch their video yet, but I knew what culture were gonna be on the wagon to hit on the titles. So
And for no
it is.
reason. It's not even that bad. It's not like when the Universal Championship got announced, where that everyone was like, "Nah, this is not it." That big ugly red
Mhm.
strap and all that.
Oh dear God.
It's totally
Yeah.
different. It's some people can like it, some people can hate it. Whereas the Universal Championship, I don't know anybody that liked that the belt back then. That's for sure.
No, there's just nobody.
What do you what do you think of the reason? Because Triple H's reasoning was the fact that nobody can beat Roman Reigns for the title. Basically, that was his reason for bringing it. What do you think of that?
Wait.
I'm not a fan of that.
Well, here's the thing. I knew at some point that they're gonna make a new title because there's no way they're gonna split the titles now because they added the final nail to the coffin last year by unifying both belts and then causing more problems between both rosters. So it was kind of like, okay, if Roman gets drafted to Raw or SmackDown, then the other brand will have a world champ.
That's
So
that's what
that
I thought as well. And I thought, okay, just use the excuse that the draft is gonna happen. One champion will be on one brand, the other champion will be on other brand. Don't say nobody can beat Roman, so here's a new title. That just makes the title look worthless, in my opinion.
mm,
And don't say
yeah,
Roman's not defending it enough. That's your fault. You gave him the deal. It's yeah. The
uh,
reasoning was a bit stupid. They could have just said there's a brand split. One brand is gonna have this title, the other brand's gonna have that title. Simple as that.
mhm.
But of course, Vince was probably in Triple H's ear, or Triple H himself was saying this bullshit. But what can we do? What can we do?
Yeah, no, there's
Now,
nothing more.
who who do you think? Let me rephrase this. Let me start way back. How do you think they should crown a champion? Do you think they should do like a tournament or just have like two men go at it?
I
And
think
who do
there's
you want to see in that?
I think there's gonna be a tournament, if we're being honest.
I think so
Like,
too.
yeah, like say next week we'll get like the first round, then the final, then the semifinals and the finals are gonna happen at the pay-per-view.
I actually think they are gonna do straight up all the rounds on one night, kind of like the old
Mm.
school King of the Ring tournaments.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like WrestleMania 5, where Ran 4 or 5, where Randy Savage won the title in a tournament, and all the matches happened at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was four. It was four.
Was it 4? Okay, it was one of the
Mm.
years, and I kind of think something like that could happen because originally the King of the Ring was supposed to take place in Saudi. Now they changed it to Knights of Champions. So I just got a feeling we're gonna get maybe like maybe there'll only be 4 competitors, and there'll be like a match and a match, and then the last two have a final at the end of the night.
Uh-huh. That's how
That's
I see it.
that's what I'm thinking. I don't think it's gonna build up like each week. I don't know why. I just got a
Mm.
feeling because Backlash is so close, and all the storylines, there's not much space for it. So
Mhm. Yeah, that's how I see it as well. Like a whole match on the pay-per-view. It makes more sense actually, now that I think about it. It makes more sense.
It adds a
Because
bit
I
to the
don't think
story as well.
because I don't think there's gonna be any other championship matches announced for the pay-per-view, considering that it's in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, Saudi normally is a nothing pay per view. Like there's championship matches, but nobody loses or nobody. There's no title changes usually in Saudi. So if you just have a tournament throughout the whole thing, I think that could be pretty cool. Maybe have a few matches like a women's match because that needs to happen at Saudi. Um, but I don't think any title changes will happen.
Hmm.
So now, who do you
Yeah.
think? Say we have a 4-man tournament. Let's work on that. A 4-man tournament. Who's in that for you?
Oh man, who's in there? Okay, so the obvious ones are Seth, Finn. Uh, let me put in Drew McIntyre for the sake of it, and LA Knight probably.
Okay. I'm gonna go Seth, Finn, and I think that's gonna be the final. And then I'm gonna
Hmm.
go Sheamus and maybe trying to think of another heel that can fit in this spot. No, I'll go with yours, LA Knights, but I don't think he'll be in it. Maybe Bobby Lashley.
Oh yeah,
So
makes more sense.
Seth, Sheamus, Finn, and Bobby. That's my four.
Uh,
So who do you think's gonna be in the final of your four then, and who's gonna win it?
see, it's evident that Seth and Finn might be in the final. Like, I can see why they want to give it to Seth or Finn, but I say, I say Finn might take it all. I feel like Judgment Day is gonna get a little bit of a boost now that they have two world champions in their roster in their faction.
I do agree with you, but at the same time, I do think Seth needs some compensation for all these matches he's working with Omos, working with Logan Paul. Like he needs
Mhm.
he needs something given back to him, and I think a world title is that. And I mean, he's the hottest face in the company other than Cody. So I think they should
Mm.
really capitalize on that, if anything. Speaking of Cody, though, Cody needs to stay away from this title.
Yeah, that's the elephant in the room we needed to address. Yeah, this title is not for Cody.
Not
Like,
now. Not
as much,
now. In the future, maybe. Not now.
yeah, as much as I would love to see Cody win that title, I think no, with the whole WrestleMania 39 situation, I think SummerSlam is his best suit to win that belt. I
I
think
think
it is.
it's just gonna feel like it was handed to him. It's gonna feel like here's compensation for you losing at WrestleMania. It's not gonna feel real. It's not gonna feel organic. And it's not the title he wants. He wants the main title. His father had
Mm,
this title. If it falls under the same lineage as the original World Heavyweight Championship, then his father technically had this title in his early WC or not early WCW days, but the early 90s in WCW had this exact title.
hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's not the story. The story is the WWE Championship for Cody
Hmm. Yeah, it really is. That's where Cody has to be at.
for sure.
And it makes sense. You have a top baby, you have like what Seth's a tweener if he wins it. Then Cody Rhodes is the obvious baby face that everybody loves. You'll have either a top heel or a top tweener and a top baby face as your champs. And I think people might say that Triple H has started. This is the Triple H era now
I agree.
that we're in.
I agree. I think. What do you think about? I've seen a few pictures going around. Someone like a few old timers that have held this title before. and Edge and Randy Orton possibly holding this
See,
title.
I was just about to get to that. So one of my mutuals sent me a picture of Edge with the current world
We
title.
got the same picture from the same mutual.
Probably, yeah. I'd say so too. So this is what it's like.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see it properly, but you guys get the point.
Look,
So
I just don't think it should be happening. My exact message to him was, I'm not gonna lie, Edge is finished. That was all I said.
oh,
And
I don't know about finished, but okay.
I don't mean in a like rude way, but Edge is he's just there having matches right now, matches that he wants to have. I don't think he should be holding world titles.
Mm, I get you.
Un-
Yeah, I also don't needs it at
Unless
this rate.
closer to his retirement he holds it and then loses it in his retirement match, that could be an option. Because he did hold this title and he did have a pretty good run with this title, especially with the Undertaker feuds and so on. So I don't know. I just don't think it's for me. And Randy, we don't know what shape Randy is in either.
Mm, I know. I
We
know that
we
feeling.
don't know how he's gonna come back. We know nothing.
Mm. I also think Randy doesn't really need a title right now.
Nah,
Like, I don't think right now is the good time to give Randy a belt
and
back.
that belt will
Mm.
what tie him with Cena and Flair.
Well,
Nah,
I think he'll be on 15.
is it 15 then, not 16?
Mm.
Okay, so he'll be closer. Look,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think someone new should hold someone that has not been a world champion for a while. I say that they haven't been world champions for a while, but someone that doesn't have more than 10 world titles behind their belts should be holding this championship.
I.e., majority of the main roster except for Edge and Randy Orton.
Yeah, and Cena when he decides to pop up.
Yeah, I think that's a different conversation we're gonna have for another day. So,
Yeah.
nah, John Cena can stay in Hollywood.
At the end of the
I'm
day,
kidding.
I think Seth should be the one to win it, and that Finn, I'd be like you said, Finn Balor, I'd be happy with it as well. Finn and Rhea both having world titles, I'm down for that as well.
Mhm. And who knows? If it's not those two, then whoever wins it, we'll just have to see how their booking goes and if it's logical enough.
Yeah, for sure. Look, guys, let us know down below who you think should win this title, and if you like the title or not, because I've had a few mixed opinions on this title. Um, hit those like buttons, hit those subscribe buttons, hit the dislike button if you think we're talking crap. Anyways, guys, see you guys next time. Take care. Peace.